Thursday, December 4th, 2025, AGNDD Intelli Report topic. Claude, San Francisco's beloved albino alligator, dies at 30. Please pardon any visual and informational inaccuracies in this entirely AI-generated article-based video. Claude, San Francisco's beloved albino alligator, dies at 30. By Aidan Vaziri, Peter Hartlaub, staff writers, San Francisco Chronicle, December 2nd, 2025. The 30-year-old alligator icon had a quiet charisma that captivated hearts in his 17 years in San Francisco, the California Academy of Sciences said. The California Academy of Sciences was mourning one of its most recognizable residents on Tuesday after Claude, the rare albino alligator who charmed millions of visitors over nearly 2 decades, died at age 30. Claude the alligator, whose ghost-white scales and placid demeanor made him an unlikely local celebrity, was under close veterinary care in recent weeks as his appetite declined. Museum officials said he was treated for a suspected infection, but despite intensive care, this heartbreaking outcome is not what we hoped for. A full necropsy at the UC Davis School of Veterinary Medicine was expected to determine the cause of death. Claude showed us the power of ambassador animals to connect people to nature and stoke curiosity to learn more about the world around us, the Academy said in a statement announcing his death on Tuesday. We will miss him dearly. Born on September 15, 1995, at an alligator farm in Louisiana, he weighed 2 ounces. Claude arrived at the Academy in 2008 and quickly became its most sought-after attraction. The first albino alligator in the museum's history and eventually its unofficial mascot. The name Claude was a pun. The alligator was initially paired with a non-albino penmate named Bonnie. But Bonnie and Claude didn't last. Claude's poor vision caused him to bump into Bonnie, and after she bit off Claude's toe in 2009, she was returned to Florida. Claude was used as a teaching tool. His albinism was extremely rare, and with increased visibility and poor eyesight, he would have been killed quickly in the wild. According to the National Zoo, American alligators live about 50 years in the wild. You can also use Claude to talk about variation, which is the fuel of evolution. Carol Tang, the Cal Academy's former director of public programs, told the Chronicle in 2010, "It's one mutation in Claude's DNA that causes this kind of albinism. That shows how sensitive our DNA can be. We only know of a couple dozen white alligators in the world, and they are in captivity." But alligator Claude's biggest contribution to the Cal Academy was arguably public relations. His image adorned billboards, children's books, birthday tributes, and most recently the citywide festivities marking his 30th Hatch Day in September. Thousands gathered then for speeches from city leaders, special exhibits, and a fish and ice birthday cake, delivered with a signature chomp from the guest of honor. Visitors often lingered at his enclosure in the Steinhardt Aquarium, captivated by the reptile's quiet presence. Simple movement from Claude, which was rare, elicited oohs and ahs. The most common question, biologists said, was, "Is he real?" Behind the scenes, Claude was beloved by the Academy's biologists and staff, who trained him with verbal commands. They described him as gentle, almost puppy-like, and quick to understand prompts used during feedings. Cal Academy biologist Emma Cosina told the Chronicle in 2023 that Claude knew his name. "Sometimes I have to remind myself, this is a dangerous animal, because yes, it's almost like you would train your dog," Cosina said on the Total SF podcast after a feeding and routine cleaning of algae off Claude's scales. "You ask him to do something, and he's rewarded with fish." Claude fans from around the world sent letters, drawings, and gifts dedicated to the alligator. The Cal Academy offices have drawers full of heartfelt notes written by school children and visitors. "Don't worry about your different kind of skin colors," one child wrote. "It's okay." Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi wrote on X that San Francisco is heartbroken by the loss of Claude. our city's distinguished albino alligator who was taken from us in his prime at just 30. She added that Claude was a cold-blooded icon of a Cal Academy who connected millions to the wonders of science. Our city won't be the same without him. We know that the magnitude of this loss will be felt in proportion to how beloved Claude was by so many across the Bay Area and beyond, the Academy said. A public memorial was being planned, with details to be released soon. In the meantime, the museum encouraged people to share memories and messages for Claude's longtime caretakers by emailing claude@calacademy.org or writing to the California Academy of Sciences, ATN Digital Engagement, 55 Music Concourse Drive, San Francisco, California, 94118. The Academy extended heartfelt thanks and condolences to the dedicated team of animal care specialists and veterinarians who provided the best care for Claude every day. Update: Claude the albino alligator's cause of death revealed. Claude the alligator's cause of death revealed. There was nothing we could have done. By Peter Hartlaub, culture critic, December 3, 2025. As Bay Area residents mourned the death of Claude the albino alligator this week, the California Academy of Sciences received the results of a necropsy. The 30-year-old reptile died of liver cancer. Steinhardt Aquarium Senior Director Bart Shepard said Claude had been showing signs of illness for the last month, including reluctance to eat, and was on antibiotics for a suspected infection. He was scheduled to visit UC Davis School of Veterinary Medicine for imaging tests this week, but was found dead early Tuesday morning. A necropsy at UC Davis revealed a massive tumor in Claude's liver, a small consolation to the large team that cared for the 300-pound reptile. At least it was a definite answer, and we knew there was nothing we could have done differently, Shepard said. Claude was born on an alligator farm on September 15, 1995, and joined the Academy in 2008 when the Golden Gate Park Museum reopened after a renovation. Claude the albino alligator became a visitor favorite and the Academy's unofficial mascot, showcased in advertising materials and many items in the gift shop. While 30 is considered middle-aged for an alligator, Shepard said there's little data for the lifespan of albino alligators, and Claude was the oldest known specimen. The alligator underwent a physical earlier this year. He received one every 5 years, during which blood tests and X-rays came back normal. Shepard said Claude seemed to have turned a corner during the day Monday, and Shepard saw the alligator that night. He opened his eyes, looked at me, swam to the other side of the tank, like he was saying, "Not you again." As news of the alligator's death spread Tuesday afternoon, Bay Area residents paid tribute and processed their emotions. Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi wrote on X that Claude was a cold-blooded icon who connected millions to the wonders of science. Our city won't be the same without him. Memories also came in from Chronicle readers mourning the beloved animal. Rolando Cohen wrote that his mother, who lives in memory care in Toronto, first met Claude 20 years ago and would demand to see the albino alligator during San Francisco visits. Even now, when she can't remember a lot of things, she still remembers Claude and has a coffee mug with an image of Claude in her bathroom, Cohen added. I haven't told her the sad news. Hugh W. Baca wrote that his granddaughter loved Claude and wore a pin featuring the alligator on her coat. Who would suspect an albino alligator could bring such joy in so many people's lives, Baca wrote. He will be irreplaceable, but his memory will carry on. Shepard said condolences have poured into the Academy. An edible fruit arrangement arrived Wednesday, with particular concern for the biologists and staff who cared for Claude during his 17 years at the aquarium. It's remarkable to me the reach that one animal can have, Shepard said. People heard this news around the world. It's an important reminder of the importance of the work we do and the power of connecting people to animals. Academy officials will plan a memorial service for early 2026. No decision has been made on the future of the swamp, which also hosts 3 snapping turtles. Shepard said Academy officials will take their time to make the decision, but will consider the aquarium's long history of caring for alligators. Greg Chapnick, a docent at the Academy, passed Claude's swamp multiple times per shift and wrote to the Chronicle that he never failed to entrance me. For some reason, maybe because he was born in Louisiana, I decided he understood French, Chapnick wrote. Bonne nuit, mon ami, I will miss you greatly. Peter Hartlaub is the San Francisco Chronicle's culture critic and co-founder of Total SF. The Bay Area native, a former Chronicle paperboy, has worked at the Chronicle since 2000. He covers Bay Area culture, co-hosts the Total SF podcast, and writes the archive-based Our SF Local History column. Hartlaub and columnist Heather Knight co-created the Total SF podcast and event series, engaging with locals to explore and find new ways to celebrate San Francisco and the Bay Area. Favorite Claude memory, comments. When I was a docent at the California Academy of Sciences, I would see Claude all the time. Sometimes I was in the aquarium below the main floor, which gave a direct view into Claude's tank. His tank was stocked with fish. He didn't eat them because he was well fed. Also in the tank are alligator snapping turtles. Claude and the turtles got along. One time I was going downstairs to the aquarium and I heard people saying Claude has a fish in his mouth. Well, that is unusual for sure. Turns out a fish unfortunately got stuck in the water outtake and died there. And Claude's instincts kicked in and he swam around the tank with half a fish, not really knowing where to put it. The tank was kind of a mess after that and needed to be cleaned. Not sure if Claude got to eat the fish. Probably. I would not have taken it away from him. Ken Shaw, December 4th, 2025. My two granddaughters were very fond of Claude. He was the first thing we would go see every time we visited the Academy. Their family has a rescued albino pug, so they had a special fondness for Claude. One day, on a visit we all remember vividly, the usual still Claude was very active, swimming all around his enclosure like we had never seen before. It was exciting to see him move so fast. Janice Walcott Ayers, December 4th, 2025. Growing up in the Bay Area, Alligator Claude was a stalwart presence throughout my life. He was there on my first elementary school field trip to the Academy of Sciences. He attended our office holiday party, and he even wingmanned me on a few dates. Claude's loss will be felt throughout the Bay, and the emptiness he leaves behind will echo throughout the aquarium. Claude, wherever you are, I hope you're in gentler waters. Thank you for the wonder, the company, and the memories. Jordan Sasson, December 2nd, 2025. I remember being only 6 and taking the bus with my parents just to visit the white alligator named Claude that my dad had read about in the Chronicle. I remember being shorter than the railings and needing to be hoisted on my dad's shoulders to get a peek at Claude. I went home that night and drew a photo of Claude, and since then I've always enjoyed seeing him over time I visit the Academy. You will be greatly missed, Claude. William Mingore, December 2nd, 2025. I worked at the Academy for 12 years and saw almost every kind of antics alligator Claude could muster, including sitting on a snapping turtle, but I never saw him actually climb up onto his rock, even spending whole lunch breaks waiting for it. During the pandemic, while I had to work on site, spending time watching Claude was an important moment of peace. When we reopened, my daughter talked about him like a beloved pet. He felt like the soul of the Academy. Dan Tell, December 2nd, 2025. Claude was always one of the highlights or our trips to Cal Academy without granddaughters, and there were times when we visited that I could swear Claude the alligator was smiling. Christy LaFranconi, December 2nd, 2025. Along with the rest of SF, I am so sad to lose our beloved Claude. I was totally captivated with this beautiful white creature when I used to take my daughter to see him when she was a child. She was as enchanted with Claude, and we loved taking out-of-town guests to see this rare albino alligator. Now her 3-year-old son loves to visit Claude and has his books and stuffy, which he took on vacation with him last week. I'm so glad we got to see Claude right around his 30th birthday recently. He is a San Francisco icon who brought lots of smiles to all. Terry Goner, December 2nd, 2025. A sad, sad day. Claude was more than just a rare albino alligator. He was a teacher and an inspiration for so many toward the portal of ecology and science and nature, attracting and awaking a spirit of discovery in generations of San Franciscans and visitors too at Cal Academy. Our family was just there on our traditional visit over the Thanksgiving holiday, but Claude was the vet and not present. I wandered over to his area twice to check out the giant tortoises and reflect on Claude, maybe see if he'd snuck back in from the vet. His absence was felt then and even more so now. Denny Rosati, December 3rd, 2025. I brought students to see Claude for all of the years he was at the Academy, even when he shared the space with Bonnie. I brought my 4-year-old grandson last month. Everyone loved Claude. Thank you, Academy. Alyssa Matros, December 2nd, 2025. My first memory of Claude was back in 2008, when he was living with Bonnie the other alligator at the time, and Claude would just hang out at the front of his house by the window to avoid Bonnie. Claude always seemed like a gentle soul. He will be greatly missed. Take it easy, you had a wonderful 30 years. Marissa Lynch, December 2nd, 2025. My partner Morgan and I were visiting the Academy on a busy Sunday a couple years ago, and another visitor was just like, "It's not real, it's plastic." Her boyfriend, my partner, and I were all trying to combine her. Claude was real, but she was in disbelief. In fairness, Claude was sitting so still he could have been plastic. Daniel Nystrom, December 4th, 2025. We first met Claude in 2002 when he was at the Sacramento Zoo on loan from his original zoo in FL. He made a huge impression on my family and I, especially my daughter who was just 3 at the time. We remembered him immediately when seeing him again at the Cal Academy a few years ago. He was such a beautiful alligator, especially when seeing him up close. We were very sad to hear of his untimely passing yesterday, which was my daughter's birthday. I'm now looking for our old photos of Claude from 2002 to remember that exciting day so many years ago. I like to imagine he's now swimming freely in the happiest moments of his life. Infinity. Jen Rasler, December 4th, 2025. Seeing Claude at the California Academy of Sciences Pride Nightlife back in June was such a moment. My whole gaggle lit up when we spotted him. An icon, a legend, truly the blueprint. Still one of my favorite memories of the night and honestly of the whole summer. See you later, alligator. Jerry Diaz, December 4th, 2025. I remember visiting Claude when he first came to the Steinhardt Aquarium. What a beautiful sight he was, gleaming against the dark background. I even bought a Claude pin so I could always remember that day. Thank you for bringing so much joy and awe to those who saw you. Rita H., December 3rd, 2025. My grandsons loved Claude. Every visit to Cal Academy included multiple stops to check on Claude. We gave the younger one the big stuffed Claude for his birthday this past summer. It shares his bed. They learned so much about biology and animal protection because of Claude. He will be sorely missed, but the wonderful memories will endure. Cynthia Ritchie, December 2nd, 2025.
Thank you for watching this AGNDD Intelli report. Dear viewers, please like, subscribe, and click the bell button to get notified during new uploads. And make sure to tune in next time. Stay safe and healthy. Cheers!